Hello, fellow Rosarians. I'm real excited today because I got my potted plants from David Austin for the fall. David Austin offers own root roses during the fall, whereas in the spring you have they do have some own root, but most of them are grafted on Dr. Huey. So I've done a video for you before, I'll link it above, that talks about the differences between Dr. Huey and own root so that you can make a decision if you even care what the stock is on your rose. I prefer own root, and then I also like multiflora for my location here. But if I can't find that rose that I want and it's only on Dr. Huey, I'm going to go ahead and grab it just so I can have it. So today we're going to be talking about own root from David Austin. So we've done an unboxing before and we keep the same format. I'll remind you, David Austin, are you going to talk to the same person when you reach out? Most likely, yes. So right now, if you want to go onto their chat function, you'll probably be talking to Erica or Shelly. They're awesome, really helpful, and you can call them on the phone. Usually the best way to get them is through that chat or to send them an email, but I do believe that they are answering the phone. A lot of times during their busy shipping season, it's really difficult to get through on the phone. Is it a small business? I call it a small business because they only have a handful of people there in Texas. So I'm calling it a small business, although they are a very large company. So my ordering experience is that when their fall plants are released, they have 26 varieties on the site this year. They're all going to be own root, as I mentioned, and these are going to be 2-quart size. When do they ship? Potted plants are available April to May and then also September to October. So they've got that 5-year guarantee, which I think is amazing. If you're looking for somebody who has a great guarantee and warranties their plants, this is one of the best. So let's get into the unboxing. What do we look for when we unbox a potted plant? We make sure that the size is what we bought. So we know that we're looking at 2-quart for this. Are the canes strong and bright green? Make sure there's no pest. Is the potting material moist? We want to make sure that it hasn't dried out in shipment. If there are leaves, sometimes they defoliate them, but if there are leaves, we just want to make sure that they're green. Although if they do have black spot, I've seen where, especially with the organic nurseries, they will get black spot. Even if they didn't have it when they left the vendor in shipment, there's so much humidity in this box that it will get black spot. That's okay. We know how to take care of it. And I've got a video for how to defoliate a rose. So what are we expecting? I'm expecting teeny tiny plants, only because I have seen the pictures that are out there, and I got an email from them when I shipped over and said, oh, I'm so excited, my rose shipped. And they came back and said they did, but be aware that they are tiny. So is that going to bother me? No, because I know that they have the 5-year warranty. And we have unboxed some really tiny, these are really heavy. So that's telling me that they have enough water to get through shipment. But we have unboxed some really teeny tiny plants this year and they've done great. I do those check-ins at 3 months and 6 months so that you know what to expect and how they're going to grow. Okay, I'm looking in the, on the side stickers. It has a certification that they have to put on there that it was inspected for pests and that they are pest free. I've got my invoice here, and I also have a planting guide. Let me get down here. I've got a planting guide that tells me how to plant these. So let's go ahead and open this up. I can't wait to have these babies. I had to call in the troops to help me. They were packaged so well. My husband had to help me, take the bottom of the box off. So don't be worried that these are not going to be packaged well. If you look in here, I'm very excited about the way that they look. Let's go ahead and take off the surround here. Now they told me that these were little teeny tiny plants, and I'm thinking they look pretty good, you guys. So let's take this one out. And like I mentioned, these are really, they've got some weight to them, almost too heavy for one hand to pick up. They've done a great job making sure that these get through shipment. These took 4 days to get to me, and they came through UPS. They were even delayed a day, and I knew that they would be fine, even for a delay. So let's look here at what I have. So when we think about 1 quarts, so this is a 2 quart, but let's think about 1 quarts. Who did we get 1 quarts from so you can compare? That would be High Country, Northland Rosarium. Even smaller than that would be a band from Rogue Valley. Who else did we get 1 quarts from? Okay, I'm checking my notes here. We also got 1 quarts from Stargazer, A Reverence for Roses, which are huge. I love A Reverence for Roses. Angel Gardens, and now these David Austins. So let's keep that in mind as we're looking at these for comparing, you know, the price to the size. So they have a bag around the whole plant. They're also holding, they have moss on top to help. Can you even see in there? They've got moss in here, and then they've got rubber bands holding the moss down, which will help keep the soil in during transit. The flush of the leaves is so bright and healthy. Am I going to put these outside now and plant them in the ground? I know they want me to. But when I make a decision whether or not I'm going to overwinter it in my garage or a shielded area versus putting them on the ground, I'm making that decision based on the canes. Do you see how this cane here is still red, which means very healthy new baby growth? Do I think that this, first of all, it needs to harden off so that it doesn't get zapped with a snap from a freeze. So for me, unless this hardens up super quick, I'm going to be watching it and pulling everything in. I'm watching the calendar, pulling everything into the garage to harden up there. This right now, if it was going to hit a freeze tomorrow, would not go outside because I'm prepared to take care of them inside anyways, and I'll show you in a later video how I am taking care of all of my roses that are going to come inside. And I also think about not only losing this growth during a freeze, but let's say ice or something heavy is on the canes. Do I want them to snap? So that's how I make the decision, although I'm sure that all of our vendors that are sending us our plants, they would say, put them in the ground. They're going to be fine. Roses are very resilient, but I just want to be careful. So anyways, let's take another look at this. I'm looking at the size. Did I get the size that I want? Yes. This is the smallest one here, and it is Generous Gardener. I also got Bathsheba, which is this one. And then I also got the Poet's Wife, which is this one. So I definitely got the size that I wanted. The rose itself is very healthy. I've got fresh new growth. I do see black spot on a couple of leaves. I mean, it's not decimated, but we talked about that. We've seen that before where roses go through and they have black spots. So let me show you what I'm looking at. So it had some that dropped into the pot. Let me take off, because I'm going to take off everything that has black spot anyways. Do you see? This is black spot. It's just starting. So I know that there's no way it left David Austin with black spot because they have such exceptional quality control there. So this is just something that happened in the box with that humidity, and it's not a big deal. We're going to go ahead and just take off those leaves that are affected and let it go on its way. So this is a great rose. This is Bathsheba, and we'll talk about that one in a second. Let's look at the Generous Gardener. Oh, I'm sorry, this is the Poet's Wife. So do I see any black spot? I see, you know, like 3 leaves. So it also has blooms. It's going to bloom for me. Look at that. Yes, I might see some blooms on this baby here in the next 2 weeks. That makes me really happy. So otherwise, this rose is healthy, but keep in mind the size that you have. You know, I think that these are great. So then the smallest one is here, and this is the generous gardener. The soil got disturbed on this, so when you look at this, you might say, "Ugh, what's all the black on these leaves?" It's soil. It's not black spot. So there I see maybe one yellowed leaf on this, but lots of red, new, fresh growth on it also. So this is a very healthy, happy rose, and I'm just going to take off any leaves that that I think don't look good from either black spot or yellowing. Let's read up here now on Bathsheba, in case you're thinking about getting this for your yard. Bathsheba grows 10 feet. Its own root, of course. Its apricot yellow buds open to shallowly cupped, many-petaled rosettes. They are a beautiful blend of subtle apricot pink and soft yellow, giving the overall impression of apricot with creamy outer petals. There is a superb floral myrrh fragrance with hints of honey and tea, and it forms a short, vigorous climber. It says short, but I think 10 feet is not short. I call short maybe 8 or so. Anyways, the name was inspired by the heroine of Thomas Hardy's Far from the Madding Crowd. It's rated excellent by helpmefind.com. Okay, the generous gardener bears beautifully formed flowers which nod gracefully on the stem. When the petals open, they expose numerous stamens, providing an almost water lily-like effect. The flowers are a pale, glowing pink and have a delicious fragrance with aspects of old rose, musk, and myrrh. It's named for the National Garden in the UK. The poet's wife bears rich yellow flowers which pale over time. Their formation is most pleasing, having a neat outer ring of petals enclosing an informal group of petals within. There is a strong, wonderfully rich fragrance with hints of lemon, which becomes sweeter and stronger with age. It forms a bushy, nicely rounded shrub with arching branches and shiny foliage, and this one grows 4 by 4. Did I tell you that the generous gardener grows 15 feet? I'm kind of thinking about putting that up a tree, kind of like a rambler, but we'll see. Okay, so the poet's wife is just rated good by helpmefind.com. All right, so the average price on these are $30. There is no coupon right now, but all of us that have been buying from David Austin look for that coupon that comes with the catalog. The catalog will be coming out in December, January-ish, and you can use those on your bare roots. So for these, I did get a discount because I'm an American Rose Society member. I highly encourage all of you to consider an ARS membership because the membership is so inexpensive. It's like $40 and you get a discount from so many different vendors. And although they don't say in their pamphlet that David Austin gives a discount, they do. You just have to call them and they'll probably ask for a picture of your card or the number and it's taken care of. So please consider an ARS membership, not only for the discount, but they've got amazing information that they share with you. So let's look at the shipping. We have the same shipping breakout. There was no price increase based on the bare roots that we did. You're going to see that same shipping breakout price. I'll go ahead and put that up. So let's look at the rack and stack. And to do that, for each of our vendors, we're saying, if I buy 10 roses, how much does this cost? And that will help us take into account any coupons or free shipping that everybody offers. In this case, it was $30 per rose. I do have an ARS discount, but I'm not going to add that because if you don't have one available to you, it's not a discount that's readily available just by providing a code. So we're not going to provide the ARS discount, but it's at least 10 or 15% off of the price that I'm going to give you. So let's say we buy $30, 10 roses at $30. That brings us to $300. The shipping is going to be $25 based on hitting that $300 mark. So the total is going to be $325. So you've got that 5-year warranty. They're very responsive. So now let's look at the overall rack and stack. I'm showing you first the list of all of the potted rose vendors. So that would include the bands and the 1 quarts, as well as this 2 quart. So that would be High Country still being the least expensive at $185, and K&M, they sell potted roses. I think they're 1 gallon. That'll get you up to $415. So now that we take that into account, all of the rack and stack for all potted roses, now let's just look at this size. And I'm going to include the David Austins in the band size. So that would be the 4x4s or the 1 quarts. Size will be a little bit larger on these, but we're including them with High Country, Stargazer, A Reverence for Roses, Northland Rosarium, Angel, and Rogue. And these are the most expensive if you're going to be looking at that band or 1 gallon size. But keep in mind, not only do you have that 5-year guarantee that I don't think any of these other vendors are offering that long, but you get the varieties that often a lot of these other vendors can't have. Of course, if you can, support the other vendors and they do have the variety that you want and it's less money and you don't mind doing without that 5-year guarantee, by all means, go ahead and get it elsewhere. But I have been so happy with the quality and customer service and warranty that David Austin offers. So I hope this video is helpful and that you'll know what to expect when you get your potted roses in the fall from David Austin. And I will look forward to seeing you in the next one.